topics. We seem to be functioning fine with those rules. But that was the one area that I thought, was we could all use some help when we're new to the board, let's say. So.
Okay. Anything else for our Director of Finance? Hearing none, thank you. Old business. Under old business, I think we've talked about everything under old business. We don't have our tracker in the package for today, but you've talked before about what we're going to talk about at the next meeting. So I think we're fine there. So I think that's it for old business. Public discussion, seeing all the people in the public. I will say that there's no public discussion, so I'll close that. Item 9, board comments. Anybody in the board would like to make any comments?
I just, go ahead.
I'm
thinking ahead a bit, but I was wondering if we could get on the agenda, if not August, maybe September, or sometime while the current board is sitting and has gone through the process of budget deliberations, more than once. If each member could maybe just make a recommendation going forward, if you could make that process, that budget process, better for us, for the departments, various departments that come before us, what would be your top 3 recommendations or top 5, whatever. And I think that list could somehow be the basis of some conversations with departments via Mark, or it could be us and Board of Education or library, whatever. But I think while it's still sort of fresh in our heads, I think if you wait till the end of the year, you're gonna forget. If the little pet peeves,
Well, it's
so
both. It's the things that work well and
Right,
the things that we struggle with sometimes, and we kind
Right.
of have to ask probing questions.
Yeah,
that maybe
and
if it was in the package, it would work easier.
I think we could eliminate
Absolutely.
a number of things.
We
So
could.
just a
We can
thought.
add to September's agenda, unless September's agenda looks like it's going to be huge. A review of the budget process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anything else?
And the budget process as it currently exists is documented in the town charter?
Correct.
Is that what we should be referencing and then reading that to see how we might like to see that change? That's the only document that really explains the budget process, correct?
And actually, I can actually hope my memory in September when addressing that item on the agenda, I actually have just made myself a little chart, and it references, I believe, the section of the charter and the requirement in the process. So it starts out with defining, the department heads getting their budget. So they go to the first selectman. At what point in the process it goes from first selectman to department heads, when the Board of Finance is required to have a public hearing. You can have, it says you can have 1 or 2, but so it talks about that. It goes through all the steps of the process and leading up to the town meeting, which now adjourns to referendum. So I just kind of made a little cheat sheet.
Yeah.
So that's helpful. I mean, that's basically the management document based on what the charter is requiring.
How
So
it's
that's
defined,
helpful.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to have min requirements, and I think what you're talking more about is the minutia detail
Yeah,
that
so
really makes
either,
things effective.
yeah, either something that's process-based or something that's even document-based, like a certain document that you've
there-
seen that it drives you crazy or
Is there
could
going to be a
better.
charter revision sometime in the future, not too far from now, did I hear?
It's been talked about.
Okay, so we can present to that charter revision board.
Yeah, I mean, if it-
It's a board.
Yeah.
No, I understand that.
Decision, and it's really a big thing, apparently.
Yes.
I've never been
Yeah,
through
I
one.
know.
Oh, really?
It's you've been on it,
Yeah,
right?
it's-
Maybe we'll have something for
Charter
you to
re-
do next year.
Yeah, charter revisions are,
I found something.
Is bifurcation on the budget on the potential changes to the charter?
When Bill could explain this better, but I think when you have a charter revision, you give them the charter and they can come up with it. You can give them suggestions.
Yeah, there was a
Right.
first.
But they'll come back with whatever they want.
it's,
Yeah.
So if we wanted to have input into what goes into the charter, would you suggest the process is going to a Board of Selectmen meeting and writing down what our suggestions for revisions are?
I'm really gonna have to review how the process has worked in the past and what our traditions positions are here and how that all works. And again, there's people in this town that have been on several. I think Bill is one, and it's nothing I've been through, so I'll have to
Yeah.
school up on it and really kind of make sure we need one, that we need to
Yeah.
identify that.
We had specific deliverables that we talked about that came to us from, I think, the Board of Selectmen, but it all started with a vote at some kind of,
Petition or something? or-
it was on a ballot, I think, one year. Do you think we should review the, and there was specific line items. I might still have the paperwork.
I don't think we need to go to a charter review. I don't think we need a petition or a referendum to go to a.
So the clear answer is nobody here knows.
We're gonna find
Look
out.
into
We'll find
it.
out. It's something that I think in the next
Yeah.
couple of years, now that the buildings are built and the parks
Yeah.
are being
Something,
mowed and all
yeah,
that,
but
maybe that's what's on.
We
the-
would- Yeah, 'cause
I mean,
Assuming
charter,
I'm gonna
charter
be here.
revisions tend to be very detailed and undertakings,
Yes.
and what I'm thinking about, what I suggested is much smaller in,
Yes,
in
yes, yes.
nature, and you could still work within the given charter and the basic, procedure from board to board and so forth, but just within that scope, recommend some better way of doing it, or a better document or something like that.
And that may ultimately be something that we can attach to our bylaws or some similar kind
Right.
of document.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, any other comments?
that's it.
Hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Good job.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye.